So you think you know the World Cup, huh? You've shouted at refs through your TV, quoted stats at parties no one asked for, and cried during penalty shootouts like it's your full-time job.
It's time to put that football genius brain to the test. 30 questions, 10 seconds each, and not a single VAR review to save you. Let's see if you're the GOAT. Or just a guy who once played FIFA on easy mode. This round's like playing against a team that forgot their boots. All you've got to do is show up and score. Who was the captain of France when they won the 2018 World Cup? Loris led Les Bleus as captain and goalkeeper in 2018. Which country won its first World Cup title in 1966? England won on home soil in 1966, still their only World Cup win. Which country beat Germany in the 2018 World Cup group stage, knocking them out? Mexico's 1-0 win helped send Germany packing in the group stage. What instrument did South African fans famously blow during the 2010 World Cup? The buzzing sound of vuvuzelas became the soundtrack of 2010. Who is the youngest player to ever appear in a World Cup match? At 17 years and 41 days, Northern Ireland's Norman Whiteside set the record in 1982. Which country has hosted the World Cup in both summer and winter months? Qatar 2022 was held in November to December due to extreme summer heat. Which country did Senegal beat in their first ever World Cup match in 2002? Senegal shocked holders France with a 1-0 win in the 2002 opener. Which European nation made their World Cup debut in 2022? All 2022 European participants had played in previous World Cups. Which country scored the last goal of the 2022 World Cup final before penalties? Mbappe completed his hat-trick with a penalty to make it 3-3. What's the minimum number of matches a team must play to win the World Cup? A World Cup winner must play 3 group games, a round of 16, quarters, semis, and final, 7 total. Welcome to midfield, where things get messy and not just Lionel. These questions separate the real fans from the ones who just watch the highlights. Which World Cup winning team never conceded a single goal in the knockout stage?
won all their knockout games 1-0 in 2010. No goals conceded. Who was the youngest player to score a goal in World Cup history? Pelé scored at 17 years, 239 days in 1958. Which stadium hosted the 2022 World Cup final? Lusail hosted the final between France and Argentina. Which player famously missed 3 penalties in one World Cup tournament? Baggio missed 3 penalties across the 1994 tournament, including one in the final shootout. Which team was knocked out in the group stage despite scoring the most goals in their group in 2014? Ivory Coast scored more goals than Japan and Greece, but finished third. Which team had the most yellow cards in a single World Cup match? Portugal received 9 yellows in the infamous Battle of Nuremberg, 2006 vs. Netherlands. Which player scored the only goal in the 1990 World Cup final? Brehme's penalty sealed West Germany's win over Argentina. Which team's entire squad shaved their heads after being eliminated in 2002? Japan's players did it as a gesture of apology and unity. Which World Cup had the most red cards? A record 22 red cards were shown in France, 1998. Which country did Diego Forlán represent when he won the Golden Ball in 2010? Forlán was the standout for Uruguay, helping them to a semi-final finish. You made it to the final third. Now it's all brain, no luck. These questions are more niche than a third-tier manager's post-match excuse. Which team had 5 goals disallowed by VAR in the 2022 group stage? Argentina had multiple goals ruled out in their early matches. Which coach won the World Cup after taking over just months before the tournament? Scolari took charge of Brazil in 2001 and won in 2002. Which country had the lowest possession percentage ever recorded in a World Cup win with data tracking? Arabia beat Argentina in 2022 with just 31% possession? Which World Cup final featured 2 own goals? The 2018 final had 1 official own goal and a deflection that nearly counted as another. Who scored an Olympic goal direct from a corner in the 1962 World Cup? Colombia's Marcos Coll scored the only Olympic goal in World Cup history. Which nation withdrew from the 1950 World Cup over a dispute about wearing shoes? India refused to comply with Fifa's requirement for players to wear boots. Which country had the oldest average squad age in the 2022 World Cup? Belgium had the oldest average age and crashed out early. Which team famously had to change their shirts mid-match due to a color clash? In 1930, Argentina borrowed a local club's jersey due to a color clash. Who was the first African goalkeeper to keep a clean sheet in a World Cup knockout game? Bunu kept a clean sheet in Morocco's 2022 win over Spain. Which player was the first to win 2 Golden Boots? No player has ever won the Golden Boot twice in World Cup history. Time for your final challenge. No multiple choice, just big brain energy. Which World Cup winner retired from international football immediately after lifting the trophy? Drop your answer in the comments and show the world you've got GOAT-tier trivia skills. And that's the final whistle. If you crushed it, congrats! You're basically the trivia Messi. If you didn't, don't worry, even England missed 3 penalties once. Now do what all great teams do. Like, subscribe, and share this with a mate who still thinks Qatar is a football player. And hey! Drop your bonus answer in the comments and flex that football IQ. Until next time, keep your boots shiny, your flags waving, and your trivia brain match fit.